Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do Alice Never After, Book 1 from Boom Studios by Dan Panosian, Giorgio Spalletta, Francesco Zagala. Beautiful cover, by the way. I really like this cover. So, as you may know or not, I did Alice Ever After on my channel. I did, the whole run, the whole first volume. There's a little bit hit and miss there, but I liked it, but it was not the best comic. So then you can ask, hey, Marinus, why did you continue then this series? I don't know. I'm just maybe curiosity is something because I am try to be open to something new, and since I didn't dislike the first one, and there are some things that I do like, I thought, you know what? I'm going to take a chance. This is issue number 1, right? And so then Panosian, I believe he's some kind of a controversial figure or something. I don't know the whole story. I don't know anything, but there's some rumors about, stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's not even important, but maybe you, if you're viewing this comic, my video, maybe you could leave something in the chat about him, because I know I just heard stuff. I haven't been bothered to look it up yet. Anyway, let's dive in, right? And also, I believe I'm not sure if the whole team is back, but Dan Panosian anyway. And let me see if, so he does the London Illustrated Wonderland by Giorgio Spalletta. Assisted by Cyril Glaran. I believe that's the new guy. Anyway, so I believe this is the sister, if I remember correctly, and she's caring for Alice. Now, what has happened to Alice in the first book? Her mind was destroyed by evil people. They are in jail now. Her father is also a bad guy, but he's not. And I was asking myself, what happened to the dad, right? Well, it seems that he is in this book. But let's move on a little bit. So Alice doesn't feel right, and she is puking. And so Earl, bring some towels quickly. Alice, does your stomach hurt? Are you in pain? All better now. We see Earl. He is, I believe, engaged or have a relationship with her sister, and the art I think looks really good. It has some kind of aesthetic that's really pleasing to the eye to me, and like I said, her Alice is now. She's psychotic? No. That's not what I'm saying. Her mind is damaged, right? By Mistress Holda and the Twister Dr. Madsen. And then we go to Wonderland, because there is where her mind is all the time. So while she's here in the real world, her, I don't know, maybe she's just go back into her mind and then relive adventures in this Wonderland, if that is even real. Right, and so we have some interactions between these guards. Also, I was, when I was younger, a fan of Alice in Wonderland. It's just this fairy tale always stuck with me. Maybe that's why I'm having a soft spot, right? Anyway, so these have some interaction. Then the rabbit comes and says, "Gentlemen, if you don't mind, I'm a bit of a hurry. Sorry I'm late, Alice." "You're forgiven, White Rabbit. Now have a seat before your tea gets cold. Eat your sandwich quickly, but you may wish to save your complimentary biscuit for later, because we're going to discuss a very touchy subject this afternoon." Right? So we have all these people here, if you can call them that, and the subject is that they have a weekly croquet, that's how you say it, matches to discuss. In particular, the cheating that has been largely overlooked by both the participants and the spectators, right? And she says, "That's quite an accusation. I hope you're not implying that any of us are involved in this scandal. I think it's an accusation that's very well founded. The cheating needs to stop entirely, or at the very least, better concealed." Right? So this whole conversation is very lighthearted. It basically goes not really nowhere, but it's it's fun to read. But then the rabbit says, "Oh, I need to go," right? But Alice says, "Hey, you just came here. Why do you need to go away, right? And and you didn't even touch your biscuit." So he says, "Well, I need to go. My apologies." And I vote yes for the crockett, by the way, right? And she says, "Yes on what? Stopping the cheating or better concealing it?" Rabbit. And he's off, right? And then Alice is wondering what's going on, and she needs to go away. And then the other says, "Hey, there's a lot of tea here. Maybe we should, drink it because otherwise it goes to waste." And she says, "Yeah, carry on. I'll be right back." And they discuss the whole cricket and cheating thing, right? And she says, "Where are you always running off with such haste, White Rabbit?" So she's following him, and also says, "Hey, will you come on gone long, Alice? I hope not, Sir Six." Again, the art looks very lovely. The colors are very nice, very vibrant. And then she's going into this dark forest, and she lost Rabbit, right? She's looking for him. She's calling him out, and he says, "Where did you go, Rabbit?" And then she's meeting with the caterpillar, right? I love this question mark smoke. Then we go back to the real world because, so this is the home that this sister, I forgot her name, by the way. What's her? Do we know her name? I don't know. Edith, yes. And he says, "Father, why are you up early? Where are you off to? It looks like you're one of your ways something too, Edith. Another doctor visit." So her father, who was basically not very a nice man, is that how it probably came out a little bit wrong, but you know what I mean. How many doctors are left to consult at this point? I hate to see you met with such much disappointment. You should be focused on something uplifting, like your wedding plans. She says, "Well, I'm going to take care of Alice first." So they go their own separate ways, right? And so she says, "You never did tell me where you were going." No, I didn't, did I? Alice has her needs and I have mine. Which clinic will you visiting today, ma'am? It's not a clinic this time. Newgate Prison, if you will. All right. And so the how do you call this guy? Horse carrier? I don't know. Is there a word for what these guys are, what their occupations are in this timeline? I'm not sure. But he says, where today, doctor? Wormwood Scrubs. I don't know what it is. I believe some kind of a cell for lunatics, I guess. And if you don't mind saying, I admire you, sir, and dentist of your regards, taking the time to help those less fortunate in confinement. It says volumes about your character. Please, servitude provides ultimate satisfaction. I hope those prisoners treat you kindly. They can be a rough lot. There are people too. People who, more than often, have simply found themselves in the wrong place at the wrong time. Life provides many unpleasant circumstances, and we must do our best to support those that are less blessed than ours. Like I said, sir, admirable. Now look at his face. Typical evil guy. So he comes here, right? And Edith comes here at the prison, right? And she says, so she's visiting this doctor, right? That, experimented her on her mind using medication and other stuff. And so he's very happy to see her. While her father is visiting Mistress Hulda. I dare say you have come the queen of my heart, right? Because he's also very delighted to see him in this prison. And you always flatter me with your punctuality. So yeah, there's some stuff going on. That's what I like. I mean, it's a continuation from Volume 1. I thought it was one and done, right? But, we actually moved the story along, and I like that, right? So it's not really over with these two. And Edith doesn't know what her father does, and vice versa. That's interesting. So meanwhile, in this forest, Alice asking the caterpillar about the question where the white rabbit is. But, he is just, not being very straight. And he says, hey, have you seen him? That's a very good question, Alice. A very good question. Thank you. Did you happen Did he happen to pass by here? The white rabbit? Yes, the white rabbit. I was following and then following a white rabbit. How droll. Why, pray tell, are you following the white rabbit? I like to know why he's always hurrying about. And surely you notice that he's always late getting to tea parties and then on his way to someplace else. He's a close friend of yours, isn't he? Like his family, right? Have you ever considered asking him? Well, no, I haven't. Not yet. I intended to, though. We are like family. I just need to find him. And he says, do you know where he lives? And then he says, no, I don't know where he lives. I suggest you find out. It was lovely chatting with you. Goodbye. So that conversation was getting nowhere. And she's actually acknowledging that. She says, I would ask him if I could find him. Toodaloo. Toodaloo indeed. He's no help. No help at all. And I never find a white rabbit. I'm not even sure why I can't find my way out of this forest. Look at this cool-looking creatures with the jacket and his monocle. It's like I said, the creators are really encapturing this fantasy. What's the word I'm looking for? I just had it at the tip of my tongue. This fantasy landscape of Alice in Wonderland. I like that, you know? Although, so you see these flowers with baby heads in it or kids' head, I'm not sure. It's all weird and a little bit, it's not really creepy, it's pretty tame, but you know, it's if you're walking in a forest and you see these things, you run away the opposite direction. Anyway, so she says, I guess I'm officially lost. All this rushing about it is exhausting. I don't know how Rabbit does it. Hopefully Sir Six gets worried enough to send out a search party. Alice, is that you? You look lost. I am. You wouldn't happen to know the way back to the castle, would you, Dodo? I'm heading there now. Can't you join me? How about that's a coincidence? And then, so they're going off their merry way, and the Dodo says that they have to be careful. And he says, there is a shadow figure looking in, around here, right? And she says, what is the shadow figure? Well, I can't say that, right? And then she says, what if I insist on you say? And so did more talking. He says, I believe it's the cherished cat. Cheshire cat? Yeah, probably that's how he said it. And then Alice says, the Cheshire cat? That's impossible. I banished him from Wonderland. You're right. It's probably all nonsense. Absolute nonsense. People can be dumb sometimes. You banished him. There is a palace. I knew it was around here somewhere. Wait, were you lost too? It's possible. I rarely know where I'm going half all the time. Yeah, so all these creatures are saying mumbo jumbo and, being weird. But, it fits in this universe. So Sir Six is here and he was, wants to, having a search party to look for her. So he talks about there's a shadow figure, and she says, "Oh, let me guess. A shadow figure looks about. How did you know? I have my sources." So and then the other creatures are very happy that she's back, and they are panicking, and also more like they were worried, right? So and he says, "Hey, we got a present for you. Open it," right? And she says, "Oh, wow, that's so sweet of you." Oh, and she says, "Oh, my stomach. I wonder. Alice, are you okay?" "I don't know. My stomach feels very upset." "You're probably starving. You've gone all day. Fetch us something to eat, you idiots. Alice is hungry." And she says, "Oh, no, I'm not very hungry." And she says, "Well, eat this cupcake." And she says, "Well, am I going to grow or shrink?" And she said, "No, don't worry, it'll all be fine." So she eats it, and she feels weird, and then she is turned into something because, oh my, well, that never happened before. I don't believe I've ever seen one of those. What am I looking at exactly? It's the stuff of nightmares. Well, she's turning into a baby, but she is fully aware of that. And he says, "I don't know how that happened." And then she says, "Get her a raisin bread remedy or a cake countermeasure at your service. Thank the stars and moons." So he says, "Hey, open up." And then she's turning into herself again. Now, I must say this whole turning into a baby is probably not very needed, right? But I don't know. It's probably that the creator wants to show the silliness and the weirdness of this place in her mind. I don't know. It's just I find it funny, but it wasn't really necessary, right? We could have moved the plot a little bit here and there, but I don't really mind. So he apologizes and he says, "I'm sorry, Alice. These cupcakes are usually the crystal balls. I'm not sure what happened there. Bad ingredients." But she says, "Hey, at least my stomach stopped hurting." And then he says, "A baby, imagine that. We are not prepared for one of those." Wait a minute. Baby, sickness, puking. Is she pregnant? How? Well, I know how, but when? And with us behind us in your tummy feeling better. Now, how about you open your gift? I am so excited. Like I said, you really. And she says, well, you shouldn't do that. And she says, then, shouldn't have? Didn't this belong to the Queen of Hearts? Why are you giving it to me? Because you're the Queen of Hearts now, silly. Hooray! Pip pip cheerio! Yay! So yeah, there's a plot twist, on multiple levels. I think this was fun. It was cool. It's just a little bit the same structure as the first volume, and I must say I'm intrigued. So I'm gonna pre-order the rest, and we'll see if it's actually good in the end. So far, I think this was a fun issue, and comics should be fun. And I always like Alice in Wonderland. So maybe this is not for you. I think it's fun. Well, let's leave it at that. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.